Try this a new way. I'm gonna show you the tricks that I know. I'm getting tired of talking, and I need more of a show right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. You got me on tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I won't be turning around. No, I won't be turning around. Feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I will win tonight. I think I'll do it on my way. I'm gonna show you what I'm going through, get you out of your comfort zone, 'cause I need more of the truth right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. You got me on tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I won't be turning around. No, I won't be turning around. Feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I will win tonight. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. We'll turn this around. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. We'll turn this around. I guess I'm gonna stay, but I'm just gonna wait in the background, watching you talk to her. I know this might look bad, but I'm just gonna melt in the background, watching you lean into her. I'm a fool. I just wanna get close to you. Yeah, I wanna get close. I'm a fool. I know. Are you thinking about us too? 'Cause I don't know. Are you missing it just like I do? Are you worried about me too? 'Cause I'm thinking aloud, I'm wondering about you, eh? I don't even know what it feels like rest. I'm a fool. I just wanna get close to you. Yeah, I wanna get close. I'm a fool. I know. Are you thinking about us too? Are you missing it just like I do? Are you worried about me too? 'Cause I'm thinking aloud, I'm wondering about you, eh? About you, baby. Want your kisses in the morning light. Wanna be next to you every night. No, I shouldn't love you, but I might. 'Cause your lips, they taste like cherry wine. You're no good for me. We're so bittersweet, but I still want you. I do. Baby, can't you see what you do to me? I just can't resist you. You got me drunk in love, I can't sleep. I need to sober up from this dream. I can't deny, I can't deny you. I can't deny, I can't deny you. Na 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 na. Na 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 na
What's up, y'all? Sean here. Welcome to Tuesday Night Studio Sessions. My name is Sean. I'll be your host. Tonight we're going to talk about a tiny, dinky little camera called the Insta360 Go 2. It is going to be my go-to camera. No, it's not. But I'm super excited about it. It is the predecessor to... Wait, is predecessor before? It's the one that comes after this one, which is the Insta360 Go. We're going to be talking about my experiences over the last year with the Insta360 Go. We're going to go through the Insta360 website and look at all of the marketing material for the Go 2. I've already purchased it. It will be here. It says it's going to dispatch within 7 days. So we'll see if that happens or not. Usually Insta360 is pretty on top of things. And then it takes about 4 days for me to get stuff from Insta360. So we're looking at it being on the channel in 2 weeks, but we'll see. But yeah, I've made videos with the Insta360 Go. I've put it on my shirt. I have blackout skins for it so that it kind of just disappears on my black vest. I've put the camera in places that I couldn't fit any other camera, like close-up places on my drone, and I put it on tripods. I've, and it looks like a toy. It really does. So nobody really cares that you take it out of your pocket and film with it. And that's what I love the most about it. But it's magnetic. It's tiny. And everybody kind of brushed it off when it came out, because when they released it, I believe it only had 30-second record time, and everybody's like, what's the point of that? And so what it was kind of like a social tool that you would just get like little clips of your life, kind of like I think Google has a Google Clips that does the same kind of thing. And I think Polaroid came out with one, and these little wearable cameras that just kind of get a glimpse of your life. And I think even Casey Neistat had an app that would just record different times of the day and create like little stories. So there's a lot of those things out there. Insta360, the way they do things, flow state stabilization is amazing. The Insta360 Go was so tiny with such a tiny sensor that it was an amazing video, but it's decent enough to put on Instagram, or it's decent enough to throw on Facebook. And that's kind of what it was meant for. But we are going to get into that discussion around 7 o'clock. So for the next 15 minutes, we're going to do the pre-show. First of all, I've been talking for maybe 5 minutes. Can you guys hear me and can you see me? I'm going to go ahead and throw the logo up in the screen, so you guys know where you're at. We're going to go through kind of in the pre-show. Maybe we should get all the logistics out of the way, and then at 7 we'll hit the ground hard. I noticed in the comments that everybody's talking about how beautiful it was today. So let's see, what do we got? So Stephen Drones said it's nice in Connecticut. It was 62 degrees. And I think that's awesome. Eat More Possum got the COVID vaccine, so that's exciting. So he can go back to licking doorknobs. Super cool. I got an email from the school today saying that my son may have came in contact with somebody with COVID. Like there's a confirmed case in one of the circles that he walks in. So that's exciting. My mother, who lives with us, is going to have cancer surgery in a week from Friday. So she is kind of scared to death, and we're kind of scared for her, trying to keep her as healthy as possible before that surgery, because she can't get the vaccine until after that surgery. And so the fact that we got that email from my son's school today, that's not good. It's such a crazy time that we live in, right? Eat More Possum has to worry about tornadoes now instead of snow. Yeah, today was insanely windy here. I went out and filmed a time lapse with my Insta360 Pro with this big guy. Take that off. That big guy. So, but the whole time, like these huge gusts of winds were coming across, and I bought a new tripod, a Manfrotto VR tripod, and that tripod killed it. Like I didn't even see my camera budge with those gust of winds. So super excited about how sturdy that whole situation was. I only put it like maybe 3 feet in the air, so I'm not sure what kind of experience you're going to get when you're looking in the VR headset. You might feel like you're kind of short, but the taller it gets, the wobblier it gets. So I kind of backed it off. I realized that I have a dark background in my studio, and just about all my cameras are dark. So I've got my whole presentation over here of all my Insta360, kind of my latest flavors of different types of Insta360 cameras, and you can't really see them, can you? I'm afraid that's going to fall off the table. Maybe if I turn them sideways, get some reflection on them. Nope. None of that is working. Oh no, I probably should have turned the computer monitor on. Looks like I got a like, so that's exciting. For some reason, when I posted that I was going to talk about this tonight, I think I posted it maybe like 10 o'clock this morning, and I already got a dislike. And that drives me nuts that they didn't even look at the video. They haven't even seen the video yet. Like, we are making the video right now, guys. And someone put a dislike. So that makes absolutely no sense. But every like and dislike is a reach. So every time I reach somebody on YouTube, it's actually a positive for me, whether it was negative or positive or not. That means someone interacted with one of my videos and could potentially see an ad. So I'm not telling you guys to dislike my videos, but thank you for even giving me the time of day to dislike my video. I guess. I don't know. Tonight's live stream is brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar, 0-calorie cola. Stick it in your mouth. I went out. I was pretty excited about today. I didn't have any meetings, but I had like one half a meeting today. But it was a pretty open day. It was like in the 70s outside. There was these beautiful clouds. Like, everything was perfect today. I've been waiting for a cloudy sky so that I could do a good time lapse with my Insta360 Pro. And so that happened. But I also took my drone out because I've been itching to do some drone link videos with my DJI Mavic Air 2. And I couldn't get that out because it was so windy. It was so windy. So maybe next time. I got some crazy flicker going on over here. You guys see that? Where's that? It's not on my camera, but it's like on the live stream. So I don't know if that's just a compressed video thing or what. But I don't like it. So yeah, you guys are not very chatty tonight. So maybe we'll get chatty once I start talking about the Insta360 Go 2. So let's get into Sean Ide Studio stuff. What is going on? That was weird. I didn't like that. So Stephen Jones says he doesn't see any flicker, so that's good. But I wanted to talk to you guys about, oh, nope, that's not it, about SeanIdeStudios.com. This is SeanIdeStudios.com. Here at SeanIdeStudios.com, you can look up gear that I reviewed on the channel. You can get links. You can go. First of all, I'm updating all these videos. I'm kind of behind on the videos section, but in the videos section, you'll be able to see all of the latest videos that I've done. If you go to the gear section, you'll actually go to my Amazon gear page. And as you can see here, the Insta360 Go 2 is so new that there's no products on Amazon that I can add to it yet. But let's say, for instance, you have the Insta360 One X2. These are several accessories that I've found that fit your camera. I have purchased myself this cage. which is right here. It's a wonderful little cage. This is the bullet time tripod. This is just a selfie stick. I purchased this case, which I'm going to be reviewing on the channel. I've also purchased these lens covers that kind of stick on. I have this bag for the Insta360 Go, but I haven't purchased it for my One X2 yet. I've got this guy. This is the sound adapter that allows you to put a microphone in. So I've added a lot of those different things. And then coming up, I'll be discussing a lot of the things on this idea board. This is the professional camera that I have right here. And this is the tripod that I used today that was ridiculously good. And then here's some bubble levelers, different things like that. So if you ever see one of my videos and wonder where to get that awesome product that I just talked about, that's where you get it, y'all. I'm also in the process of designing t-shirts and swags and Eat More Possum says, where did you get the blackout skins for the Go? So let's see if it's on my gear page. Pretty sure it's there, but I'm not sure. It was a while. I don't have an idea board. Maybe it's here. No, it wouldn't be there. Looks like I don't have an idea board for the Insta360 Go. Thanks for pointing that out, Brent. I'm just kidding. I'm really surprised I don't have anything up there. But we can search right now. If you go to my idea board and then you go somewhere else, pretty sure, well, actually, let's do it the right way. So to get to Amazon, if you go to Amazon deals on my website, and then you click this banner to go to Amazon, anything that you purchase on Amazon will help the channel out. So Insta360 Go, pretty sure it's a silicone cover. So right here, the very first thing that you type, if you type in Insta360 Go silicone, you get these silicone covers. And so that's what I put on my Insta360 Go to make it black. This is also something that I purchased. What this is, on the back of the Insta360 Go is a magnet. And so what this is it's a silicone cover with this big, long kind of silicone strap. And then it's got a piece of metal in this tip right here. So you basically fold it kind of over your, like through your collar, and then it kind of snaps onto itself. So I have that as well. Yeah, here's a closer up version of it. And here's an example. Horrible Photoshop job, but there's an example of what it looks like, you know, kind of wrapped around your shirt. But good news about the Insta360 Go 2 is you can actually customize skins on their website for $10. So I'm going to be making a custom skin for mine and then downloading it. Here's another example of a skin for the Go, different colors. These have like this little loop so that you can put it on a keychain or something. So yeah, so that's that. If we go back to the home page, we've talked about videos, talked about Amazon deals. Let's talk about shirts and stuff. I am developing a lot of t-shirts that I think you guys would like to buy. I'm a graphic designer. Um, that's like my skill. And so I've been designing, like, this looks like a kind of like a Cinewoop. Um, this is more like a quadcopter. Um, this is more like a hexacopter. So I've got these little designs that I'm throwing together on kind of a t-shirt, hats. You can get all kinds of stuff here. I saw a t-shirt today, and it was a fishing t-shirt, and I'm going to take the idea and turn it into a drone t-shirt. But the drone t-shirt is going to be, it's going to look like a cell phone, and it said, I can't answer your call right now, I'm on the other line. And it has this guy fishing, right? And it has the pickup button and the hang up button on your iPhone. And so I'm going to take that same idea, but I can't take your call right now because I'm on another line, and then in parentheses put of sight, and do kind of a drone line of sight t-shirt. So that's the plan this week. I also want to do some 360 videos. So a lot of you that are watching the channel tonight, or on the replay, are probably interested in Insta360 products. So I'm going to do some professional. I'm really good at drawing like icons and stuff like that. So I'm going to do like a professional 360 camera. Maybe do some atmospheric sounds, do some VR shirts and some FPV shirts. And I'm planning on doing the iFly hybrid, and do kind of like the DJI FPV drone, because that's real popular right now. The last thing I want to talk about, what's the time looking like? We got 1 minute, so let's get this out in 1 minute, and then we'll start the show and start talking about the Insta360 Go 2. But I want to talk about the club. Now, I used to have a bulletin board forum called the club, and I think 4 of us joined it and chatted for a little while, and then started getting spammed all over the place. All these Russian-made services and all that kind of stuff. Steven Drones, you can buy shirts with pockets on them at Walmart. Are you talking about the DJI Pocket? I can do that. So the last thing is join the club. Now, this used to go to an entire bulletin board where you could log in and you could upload pictures and stuff like that. But I decided to go with Discord, because with Discord, you guys can chat with each other. You can text each other, direct message each other, and you don't really have to share personal information with each other. So, you know, if you, like, I see Steven Drones here all the time. I actually know what his personal information is because we're friends on Facebook. But you might not want, you know, people that you see on the chat here, you might want to continue a conversation, but not know how to get a hold of that person. The club are people that enjoy my content, that are subscribers, that like the same stuff that I like. And so in Join the Club, I've got all this information of why I'm using Discord. But if you want to join the club, all you got to do is click connect right here. If you click connect, since I'm already connected, it went straight in. But here's an example of when I posted that camera back there. Today I posted about the Insta360 Go 2. This is fresh news. And we've got 2 people in the club so far. Eat more possum and nacho rolling. So that is what that is. Generally, it'll come to this page, and then you can register. Okay, there'll be a page that looks just like this. But yeah, so that is SeanIdeStudios.com, the one-stop shop to get everything, just to connect with me. And the reason we're doing it on the website and not through links on this video is because things might change. Like join the club has changed in the last month. So that's what that's all about. Eat More Possum says shirts without pockets are as worthless as teats on a boar hog. That's awesome. What is that from Meet the Fockers? I've got nipples. Can you milk me? That's funny. I'll take that off. All right. You guys ready to talk about the Insta360 Go 2? Sounds amazing. All right. So let's go to, this is the website, Insta360. You're welcome to go there and look at it with me. Last week, I got a copyright strike because a song that was on DJI's website ended up being on my live stream, so I had to actually cut all the audio from that song. So there's like, if you watch my live stream from last week on the replay, one of the videos where the audio came through, I had to get YouTube to just mute that section of the video. So this is what we're going to talk about. The Insta360 Go 2 is a tiny, mighty action camera. From every one of these, gosh, I got the hiccups. Let me drink something. Now, keep in mind, whenever you're looking at a website, I've built websites for years, and we, as designers, we take a lot of time to make things look as good as possible. Okay? So these pictures are taken by professionals. These videos are taken by professionals. But I have seen a lot of footage today. I watched maybe 10 different videos on the Insta360 Go 2. And the camera is legit. This little camera blew me away when I bought it. For the size, it is, I don't know how to explain to you guys how big this little camera is. But this little camera is, it's the size of my index finger. All right. It is finger-sized camera, and it does amazing video. The Insta360 Go 2 has a bigger sensor on it, records better video, has better colors, like everything about it is better, longer record time, but it's a little bit bigger than this. Even though like she's holding it the same way I'm holding it, it is a little bit bigger than the original, but that's okay. It's okay. What's amazing about it is it's something you can throw in your pocket and pull it out and record something, you know, on the fly. Another thing that we'll get to a little bit later, they added a pro mode, which is what I wanted so much with the original. So hopefully they'll update it so that I can do it with the original as well. But they've added the pro video, which is kind of like if you ever flew a Parrot Bebop. Parrot Bebop had that big round lens on the front of it, and it would stabilize the video, right? But anytime you stabilize video, you're actually cropping in a little bit, and so you'd crop in that sphere sphere, and it would export like a rectangle video, okay, that we're all used to watching on our rectangular monitors or rectangular phones. But if you exported Pro mode, you could export the entire sphere, everything that the lens took. This has a Pro mode on it that I'm super excited about it. And then once you take that the Pro mode video into Insta360 Studio on your computer, then you can crop it yourself and stabilize it yourself. It's still going to record all of that flow state information from the accelerometer and the gyroscope that's in the camera. It's going to gather all that data while it's recording the video, but it's not going to crop it where you want it to. So I'm super excited about that. And I don't know if you'll be able to, actually I do. You'll be able to reframe the shot. So you can do like barrel rolls and you can spin around and stuff like that. So that's pretty awesome. Eat More Possum says, is the battery life 30 minutes outside of the case? I wonder if that is 30 minutes recording video at highest resolution. Definitely. We'll get into that. And then Eat More Possum says, it needs a removable battery and SD card. Of course, that would make it bigger. Having to monitor battery level and SD capacity during flying sessions is annoying. SMO 4K doesn't have those worries. Okay, all valid. And Eat More Possum is talking from an FPV standpoint. Okay. So before we talk about what we want it to be, let's talk about what it is and whether it's worth it. Okay. Just because at the price point, you could purchase, I think the price point is similar to the SMO 4K. Okay. So we'll weigh out those things, but this is not necessarily meant to be an FPV camera. Okay. It was designed to be a tiny camera that you take everywhere with you. And then the original Go was never meant to go on an FPV drone. And then all these FPV people were like, that would be the perfect camera to put on my tiny little FPV drone. And Insta360 unlocked an FPV mode. And now it is like the go-to camera to put on little tiny hawks, to put on little Cinewhoops and stuff like that. Just because it is a no-brainer and the stabilization is on par with GoPros, if not better. It's in a tiny package. So I'm going to put my go-to when I get it. I'm going to put it on my Cinewhoop, and I'm going to compare it to the DJI Air unit, and we'll see if it's better. If the video is better than the Air unit, then you'll be able to put this camera on a tiny little Cinewhoop and get some really, really good video out of it. So let's go ahead and watch the intro. All right, so what do you guys think about that little video? So the kit that I bought is the pet mount kit. I have a cat, and so my cat has never had a harness on her, so I don't know how that's going to be, but it'll be interesting to see if I get her used to the harness, to kind of watch her walk around the house. Okay, pretty excited about that. So welcome to the chat, Bob. Bob said there was no sound. Bob was not here when I talked about the copyright strike that I got last week when I played sound from the DJI website. So we are not going to play any sound from the websites tonight. But welcome to the chat. Eat More Possum says the ability to use ND filters is a nice added feature. The kit that I got is the pet mounted kit, and we'll go into the kits a little bit later, but the one that I got comes with 3 extra monitors, or 3 extra lens covers. So it has a screw thread around the lens, so you can screw on these lens covers. The ND filters, I didn't purchase them this morning, and by the time I went to go purchase them, there was one left in stock, and someone else grabbed it before I could finish checking out. I'd already added it to my cart. I was already checking out, and then an error happened, and then it said it was out of stock. But anyway, so from that little video, we got to see that it's waterproof, just like the original Go, but it's waterproof even more now. There is the ability to put lens covers on it. So for the FPV enthusiasts out there that want to put this camera in the front of their drone and fly it into a tree, you're in luck, because you can buy extra lens covers. If you scratch, so instead of scratching your actual lens, you will scratch the lens cover that you can just unscrew and screw on another one. Okay. If you get the ND filters will help with the jello effect. So that's kind of a win-win in the FPV world. Bob Casey says that's an impressive little camera. I want to point out that all of the footage from that video that we just watched was shot on this tiny little camera. Blows me away. From one of the videos that I watched today, it has the exact same sensor as the GoPro Hero 9. So the GoPro Hero 9 is very impressive. There's a lot more room to put a bigger processor, to put a larger battery capacity and all that kind of stuff on a GoPro. But if you stripped it down, which a lot of people do in the FPV world, they take the battery off, they take the screen off, they take all this stuff off and turn their GoPro into a naked GoPro. By the time what you're left with is a lens, a sensor, and a little board that records all the information to an SD card. The other downside is this does not have the ability to add an SD card. It would be kind of cool if they added an SD card to the case, like the charging case, so you can offload, like when you're charging, it would offload the camera onto the SD card. I think that would be a nice touch. But we're not going to talk about what it's not. We're going to talk about what it is. So now we're going to watch this. Well, let's go through these pictures real quick. This picture shows how tiny it is. Can I pause? I can't pause. This is showing it on the necklace. So if you're not familiar with the necklace, since the Insta360 Go has a magnet on it, it just sticks to this necklace. And what this necklace is a big piece of metal that you kind of put under your clothes. So if you put it on and then you put it on under your shirt, then you can just snap the camera to your shirt. Okay? So that's what that's about. The next one, this picture right here, is the clip cam. Now they've updated the clip, and I'm so thankful they updated the clip, because see how it's on the bill of his hat? I've got the clip on my, I've got the clip here. And as you can see, I can clip it onto the back of my hat. But if I try to clip it on the front of my hat, it looks straight up. So one of the improvements they did with the clip mount right here is they put a rotation on it so you can rotate the camera around and point it forward. So that's a big improvement on just this tiny little accessory. So what I love about Insta360 is they're always innovating. They're always updating. They're not just, upgrading a little bit of feature and then charging another $1,000 for it. They're innovating their products. They're making their products better with every iteration. Where's I going to put this? Let's put it here. Everything has metal in it, and the camera just snaps into it. So let's watch the highlights and see what the difference is here. This is bad quality. So this is 1440 video. I'm not sure how good it's going to look on the stream for you guys, but the video that I'm watching is GoPro footage. Now it's only 1440 quality, but it's really, really good. And the fact that this tiny little camera can do this just blows me away. Stabilization alone is amazing. The fact that you can do a hyperlapse that's stabilized, but it's a great first-person view camera. I love the shots on the dog. It's awesome. Underwater, in the snow, on the in the ocean. You're really not limited by this tiny little camera, as long as you don't lose the tiny little thing. All right. And I'm excited to actually talk about the case. So let's get here to kind of the quick specs. So Eat More Possum says, I'd like to have the dog mount. I tried to mount it on the dog collar, but it was a fail. But yeah, there's a pet mount kit. Eager to see me try it. I'm going to try it on my, like I said, I'm going to try it on my cat, but if it doesn't work on my cat, I'm going to find somebody that I know that has a dog that's used to wearing a harness. Because some people have leashes on just the collars. Then there's other people that actually put a harness on their dog, and their dogs are used to wearing it. And I think that would just be awesome. I've also seen, long time ago, I saw where a guy attached a GoPro to the end of a stick, like a really big stick, and he played fetch with his dog. And the dog, or he put I think he just stuck the stick in the dog's mouth, but the dog loved to run around with that stick in his mouth. And so it was kind of pointing at his face. And it was really funny because since it was on the stick that was connected to his jaw, his head never moved, but his eyes and his tongue and then the rest of the world behind him, that's about the only thing that would move. And I thought it was such a cool camera angle. I tried to do it with my son. I tried to put a GoPro hanging off of his helmet, looking at his face while he was riding a bike. But it just created a lot of front heavy weight on his helmet, and he didn't like it. But he was only 2 or 3 or something. Gavin was my dog. I didn't have a dog. So if it's a 1/4 20 mount, I should 3D print the adapter for the Go 1. Yeah, you should. You should. All right, so let's get into all these things. Flow state stabilization, hands-free. What the hands-free means is you can pretty much kind of stick it anywhere. Like you can magnetize it to your shirt, or you can put it on your hat, all those types of things. Mount it anywhere, which is the next thing. So here we go. 1440p, 50 frames per second. So I don't have the specs of the original Go. Maybe we should do that. So yeah, let's do that. All right, so let's run. Let's go to specs. Okay. So, all right, so 1440p at 50 frames per second. The original would only record 1080 at 25 frames per second. Okay, so this is not 4K. I think this is like 2K, might be 2.7K. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but 1440 is like super view on a GoPro, like the HD version of it, not the 4K. Waterproof, 13 feet. So most swimming pools, I do go to some swimming pools that are deeper than 13 feet, like at the Y. But most swimming pools that like neighborhood swimming pools and stuff like that, if they have a deep end, only kind of go down to 8 feet or 9 feet. So 13 feet is great. Water park should be fine. Auto editing. So the app does a lot of things for you. It's got hyperlapse. Hyperlapse is kind of like a time lapse, but when you move, so you see this person walking. It's got slow motion. It's got a remote control. One of the biggest issues with this camera is when you were using it, you had no idea what was going on. There's an LED that has multiple colors and blinks and stuff like that. But just like every other camera, whenever you've got LEDs that kind of give you Morse code and try to tell you what it's doing, you have to like learn this whole new coding system on how to know what your camera's doing. Where this remote control, the case on the Insta360 Go 2 triples as a tripod and remote control. And you can take the camera and a charger. So you can take the camera out of the charger, put it somewhere else, and then you can see what mode it's in, whether it's video or photo. You can click record. You can swap modes. You can see the battery capacity. You can see all that kind of stuff on the remote control. And it's got a Wi-Fi preview, so you can see what's on the camera in the app. Couldn't do that before either. So Insta360 Go 2 is the world's smallest action camera. It weighs about 6 times lighter than your old action camera, with the same sized image sensor, and fits perfectly on your shirt. So here's an example of people putting it on their shirt. And this is the view that you would get from putting it on your shirt. You see people's arms, you see, the front of the motorcycle, you see them dancing with somebody or pushing someone on a swing, roller coaster. Like this is the type of first person view that you would get from snapping it on your shirt. Buttery smooth goodness. You got to see it to believe it. Anywhere you mount the 2, flow state stabilization will keep your shot steady, shake, bump, and roll ready. So here's examples of the video without the stabilization and with the stabilization. I have a feeling that if you use the Pro mode, there's no stabilization in the camera, which probably allows it to take better video. And then when you put it in the app, you can get the flow state stabilization after the fact. Here's horizon lock. Here's some more close-ups of the clip mount. But here's an example of a plane doing a barrel roll and the horizon staying completely solid. So for those of you that are going to put it on your drone, you know, you can get really, really cool shots of what your drone's actually doing in the sky as opposed to reality. Some of the drone shots with the Insta360, any kind of 360 camera, but the Insta360 Go on a drone that actually shows part of, you know, that shows the drone in the shot while you're flying it through the air. Those types of shots are really, really cool to do. And it's not something you can do with the GoPro. Like the GoPro and the DJI Osmo Action, what they do is they're like hyper smooth, so it kind of like flows into the horizon. But with horizon lock, this horizon right here is not hardly moving at all compared to all this movement. So it's gyroscope horizon lock. Truth Seeker just joined. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for hanging out. We're talking about the Insta360 Go 2 tonight. They announced this camera this morning. I woke up at midnight, at 1, at 2, at 3. Kept checking the website, and they didn't launch it till 8 this morning. But since they're in China, I thought that they were gonna announce it in the middle of the night, so I was ready to order it and check out. And so, welcome to the chat. I'm glad you're here, Truth Seeker. Hopefully the Go 2 has the above issue smoothed out. Oh, are these your above issues? I agree that knowing what the camera is doing is not always obvious to me. It froze up frequently. Bluetooth connection was inconsistent, and it wouldn't plug into my phone with the OtterBox. Those are all valid points. I'm not sure if you can download your files to your camera via Wi-Fi. It did say that there was Wi-Fi preview, but I'm not sure if you can download it. So all of those questions will be answered in 2 weeks when it is in my hands. So I'm really excited, actually. The world is your playground. The Go 2 is so small it fits anywhere, like literally anywhere. Guitar, easy cat. Oh, guitar, easy. Cat, well, as long as your cat actually listens to you, just use the inbox accessories to mount it up anywhere. So we've got it on a guitar right here. We've got it on a remote control car. We've got it on an actual car. I don't think I would do that, to be honest. I don't know how strong that sticky mount is, and I'm not sure how clean my windows are. So there's probably like some grease on my windows, like some road grease or something. Here's the pet harness. And then some of the videos it showed this harness on a cat. So I think you can put it on a cat. I don't know if my cat's going to take it. I honestly don't. But here is it kind of dangling on a collar. My cat also does not wear a collar, so that'll be interesting to see. Here's an example of the case. The case hinges up, and it's got little tripod feet. I think that is awesome. That is something that they added that I think is really, really cool. And here it is on a little tiny Cine Whoop. Here's an example of it on the sticky surface hinge. This is it. We've seen these shots before, but you can kind of stick this camera anywhere and get some really cool shots. I liked how the Jeep going off-roading was kind of bouncing around, and the dog, you can see the dog's face, and I think the Jeep shot is my favorite, but that's because I have a Jeep and I've always loved Jeeps. Jam-packed with action into speed. Wait. Oh, yeah. Jam-pack all the action into a speedy hyperlapse with time shift mode up to 6 times faster than real life. So you can, just kind of turn it on. And this is done with pictures. So the reason this can go for a really long time is because recording 1440 video without fans and a lot of heat sinks and all that kind of stuff, it actually does heat up any camera. Any kind of processor that's running calculations takes produces heat. Electricity going through it produces heat, and like my computer it sounds like a tank now because it's so powerful. I've got so many fans blowing air through it. But when you take a picture, especially if it's like a 4-second interval, it can take that picture, rest, and then take another picture. So it's not that crazy. But if you're taking 1440 video, it's taking, especially 50 frames per second, it's taking 50 pictures a second. That's crazy. For such a tiny little camera, it's a workhorse. Now, it will be interesting to see if, like Brent said, if it locks up or crashes and stuff like that. So we'll see. A lot of the reviews that you've seen so far today have been people that Insta360 sent them a camera. They signed papers saying that they would say nice things about it, little things like that. But when I get it, it'll be a camera that I purchased myself, and I'm going to give you an honest review. If it's awesome, it's awesome. If it sucks, it sucks. Now, I'm a nice person to begin with, so I will be honest, but I'll be honest in a nice way. So take that with a grain of salt. So make a time fly. This is a time lapse at any angle. At night, turn on night lapse mode. The Go tool will use its brains and AI to adjust the exposure and intervals. It'll blow your socks off. So I wish they would have given us an example of that. So in the summertime, when I put my bikini on and jump in the pool, I'm going to do it in slow motion so you can see my jelly roll. I'm just kidding. I don't look nearly as good as anybody on this video. But slow motion, some of these slow motion videos are really, really cool. 4 times slow motion in super smooth 120 frames per second. And I think that's 1080. Well, when we get down to the specs, we'll fact check that. But the original Go could only record 1080. So the original Go slow motion it captures 100 frames per second and then spits out 25 frames per second. But it's 900. It's not 720, but it's not 1080 either. It has HDR mode, which is super cool. These colors are amazing. And the fact that video came out of this tiny little camera. A lot of people's YouTube channels are only 1080. My YouTube channel is 4K most of the time, And if I'm doing like 360 video, I'll get up to 6K. And I've got a drone that shoots 6K. And then some of my latest videos have even gone up to 8K. But for those of you that have YouTube channels that are only 1080, being able to get some really cool shots, like especially if you're a vlogger and you go to like a coffee shop or something like that, you can put this on the side of your coffee while you're taking a sip, or sit it down, at the table while you start typing things. There's a lot of little B-roll clips that you can get with a tiny little camera. When I worked at MapGo, it's a gas station here. I was in the marketing department of MapGo, and I would try to create these little videos to put on Facebook. And one of the things that I did was I put my GoPro session in the bottom of a cup, and then in the gas station I put a couple ice cubes in it and then filled it with Coke. And then I took it up to the cash register and purchased it. And that was a really cool video. The only way I could accomplish it is because the session was so small. It was like a big ice cube. This is even smaller than the session. So you can put this at the bottom of a cup, or even like I see on TikTok a lot, there's all these cooking channels. And I think it'd be really cool to put this camera inside of a bowl or throw it in the dishwasher, like little things like that. I think would be really, really cool and creative. Now we're going to talk about the charge case, and it's going to give us a tiny little animation. Let's see if I can do this smooth. So here's a really close-up look of the camera. And you can see, if you have the Go already, you can see that they changed the array of pins. So it's in a circle now. And just to get a close-up of this, you've got a spot right here for, I think it's a USB-C, and you plug the USB-C into the computer. And it has a 1/4-20 on here. So you can use this case to mount it to a tripod if you want to. Okay. But check this, guys. So from right here, you can see that it looks like you have 100 minutes of video left, maybe. Usually that's like pictures, but it says 100 right here. And then right here, it has the battery life. Oh, no, sorry. I take that back. The 100 here is the camera is fully charged to 100. And then this is the charge case, how much charge it has left. And these are probably, I see 3 dots here. Probably means you can get 3 full charges in the case. So it works a lot like an AirPod, where you put your AirPods into a case and then you charge the case, and then the case charges the AirPods. This works the same way. What's up, challenge? Deshaun? Hi, I bought the Insta360 Go 2. I'm looking forward to it. That's awesome. I bought it today too, and I'm super excited to get it. I think the people that purchase today will probably get it in probably 2 weeks, because it's gonna take them about a week to send it out. Mine's already processed, but I think they just processed my credit card. But super excited. That's awesome. So we're going to go, it's going to snap in. So Eat More Possum, this is probably going to answer some of your questions. The Go had 60-minute. So charge up in just a half an hour and shoot for up to 2.5 hours. That's double what you'll get out of most action cameras. So when it says it charges in a half hour and then shoot for up to 2.5 hours, I think that means either in the case or using the case to recharge the camera over and over. Okay? But the Go 2 150 minutes. I don't know what more you need in a day. Especially like little clips. Like if you're shooting like, little 30-second clips, those 30-second, you can get a lot of 30-second clips in 150 minutes. All right, that's 300 clips. But since they've upgraded the camera, you're not going to get little micro clips anymore, probably. You're probably going to sit it and record for 2 minutes or 5 minutes here and there. So that's awesome. And then we're going to keep scrolling down. We're going to get a little close-up of this. So here you have this little hole right here is where your lens will snap into when you fold it. This is the mode button, and this is the record. This is the select button. It says record right here. It's got the red dot on it, but it's also, actually, I think you just switch modes with the mode button, and then when you hit record, it does whatever you do here. So if it's a photo, it'll be the shutter button. If it's a video, it'll be the record button, and so on. I love this. Control it from afar. So you don't have to worry about attaching it to your dog and then letting the dog get close enough to you, chasing the dog down so you can squeeze the camera, double tap it to start recording. It has a remote control, and I think that's amazing. I think the fact that has the ability to be able to click on it, now I don't know what the reach of this is, but something else that I saw, I think it was Potato Jet's video, he was talking about how when he put it on his motorcycle helmet, if he has a GoPro on his motorcycle helmet, he's got to take it off and look at it and see if it's recording and then put it back. With this remote control, you can have the remote control in your pocket, or like if you have this attached to the outside of your car, you can look on it and see whether it's recording or not. You can, that's awesome. I do wish it had capacity on here, but that might be one of the options on the remote to go through and like look at storage or format or, do stuff like that. Oh, you can capture from up to 33 feet away. That's pretty good. Ooh. Need some coffee. Insta360 Chase Adventure. And I think this is awesome. These little feet. When they were showing the teaser videos, this looked like a little beetle flapping its wings or whatever. But check this out. Now you have a stand. Stand and deliver. Fold out the tripod legs for the Go 2 for up to easy tabletop angles. Now, just this case right here has been completely redesigned from the original. The original kind of took a lot of ideas from AirPods. Still took Insta360's signature being able to plug into a phone with a lightning cable. This was already really cool, in my opinion, and they innovated it for the second iteration. I think they listened to people. When people did reviews about it, when people talked about it on the original Go on the forum, they were like, this is what I would love for it to do better. And this is awesome. So not only can you put this entire thing in your pocket, this is very pocketable, okay? Very pocketable. To think that you can put all this, everything that you need is in this little box. Because you can put it on you can hook this onto a tripod because it has a 1/4-20 mount down here. It has a remote control. It has the camera. It has these feet. Now you'd need something else to put the camera on, but if you were in the kitchen, you could stick the camera on the refrigerator. If you're in the park, you can stick the camera on a light pole, like one of those steel rectangular poles. You can stick it on that. We saw where someone stuck it on a metal basketball hoop. You can magnetize it to the side of your car. You can do all those things. So if I was just out and I was driving around, I could stick this up on my car, hit the record button, make my little video. It might not sound amazing, but it'll be all right. And then just knock it out. So I think that's really cool, especially for B-roll. If you want to just put it on a stop sign and then watch people cross the street and get a little kind of hustle and bustle B-roll for your video, all that's really, really cool. All right. And then snap yourself. So grip the case in the palm or even screw it on a selfie stick. So she's just walking around taking a selfie shot. And since it's such a wide lens, she's able to do that. "13 feet, waterproof, surfing, pool party, and skinny dipping a bit like a spring break, only it's an action camera." Now, I don't think the case is waterproof. I just think the camera itself is waterproof. They also have a water mode, or this Aquavision, that actually makes the water look correct. If you guys don't know this, the color levels, like the color temperature underwater, is completely different than the color temperature that's above water. So a lot of times when you film underwater, your video gets like this weird, really blue tint. So you'll see a lot of underwater cases for cameras will have this dark orange, kind of an amber color. It's like an ND filter, but it's an amber color gel over the front of the lens, and that will counteract all of the blueness that's underwater. And that's kind of what this Aquavision's doing. Fits your feeds. So choose 16:9, 9:16, or 1:1 aspect ratios. And I'm assuming all this is done in the app. But it's really cool. The AI is taking over. Flash Cut 2.0. AI takes your favorite clips, puts them in a story, and edits them together on to the beat of a music. Choose from theme templates, AI, and let AI freestyle. Don't worry, it's not coming for your job. So it kind of analyzes these little clips and makes like a perfect little video. Let me see if I can find one of mine. Let's go to my Instagram. And it's been a while. And I'm not going to play this audio either. Here we go. So these are a couple that I made. So this is with the original Insta360 Go. And basically what I did is I just kind of recorded different things. Made some coffee, got in the car, started driving towards work, pointed the camera sideways, dancing on the way to work because I'm so excited to get to work, getting out in the parking garage, walking into the building. And that's it. And that was all shot from my chest on the Insta360 Go. Now, some of the shots are super wide angle. So like the one where I'm walking out my front door, it's too bulgy. It's too like GoPro fisheye looking. But a lot of these other clips are really, really cool. And that was back when I used to work at a day job. Then this is kind of a fun little video that I did with the just the fact that it's so tiny. This is Hungry Howie's, my favorite pizza place to go to whenever I worked out in Franklin. So I this one I kind of planned out. I made these little clips. Most of this was just me wearing it, but the app itself did a lot of this stuff. But then I kind of tweak. You can go in and tweak what it does after the fact. And then here's my last one. This is me going to a Mexican restaurant with my friend Jacob. And he had no idea I was filming him, by the way. So I sat down. He's just hanging out and talking, and he has no idea I have a camera on my chest recording him. Actually posted it, and he talked about it later. So that's kind of what this AI does. Preview on the go. Tap open the Insta360 app to preview your shot in real time over Wi-Fi and adjust settings on the fly. So let's take a look at this for a little bit. We've got 16:9 right there. Not sure what the W is. Might be wide. Actually, not sure what the W is. This looks like some sort of color adjustment. Here is the, Brent, you were asking about the storage on the device. So this lets you know that you've got 32 gigs left. You've got 88% battery on the camera left. Here's the magnet pendant. We talked about that. Here's the hat clip cam. I love how it rotates up and down. That's awesome. Lens guard. This is this new little sticky mount. And as you can see, I don't know if anybody's talked about this, but let's go back to it. The lens actually goes in this hole right here. So you can put this in your pocket just the way it is, and it will protect the lens and the camera. So that's pretty awesome. ND filters sold separately. But yeah, just the ability to screw an ND filter on this tiny little camera is awesome to me. So they've got the 8, 16, 32, and 64. I almost said grit, like it's sandpaper. But those are just level of ND filterness. That's the level of tint. Action ready. So we'll get into what it comes with, but the original comes with this mount right here. And I'm pretty sure the 2 comes with this mount as well. It allows you to put it on a tripod by itself. So if you have the remote control and you want to use the remote control separately, this screw or this mount right here will let you put it on a selfie stick or a tripod somewhere else and then use it. This is, I don't like how this is plastic, but it's still held up over the last year. But this is a sticky pad. I just use it as a tripod. So since my case for my Insta360 Go original does not stand up, I use that sticky pad as just kind of a tripod. But I love this little guy. It looks like a rotating GoPro, either it's a rotating GoPro or it is a quarter 20 and a GoPro. I'm not sure yet. And then this is just a GoPro mount. So this is something that I would probably use on a drone. And of course, we've seen these all over the place. So here's a bunch of pictures. That's exciting. Here's customizable skins. So you can pick from skins that they've have in their store. I think all these are in their store in the store already. And then there's three things. You can upload a background, you can type some text, and then you can upload an icon. So I will probably just design the entire skin by itself and then upload it. And I might do some giveaways. I might order some custom skins and give them away on the channel. But it's going to take some people clicking on my links to make that happen. But yeah. And then don't believe it before you see it yourself. So here is a augmented reality where you can like look at these different things if you go to the website, you can click on this QR code and see it in augmented reality. But it's tiny, guys. It's still pretty tiny. Something that's coming out this summer is this Minions case, and I think that is awesome. It's kind of gimmicky for me, but I think that's really, really cool because it looks straight up like a little minion. So let's talk about what you get in the box. So you do get the pivot stand, so I was correct. But you get the Insta360 Go 2 with a lens guard. You get a charge case. You get a charge cable. You get a magnetic pendant, which is this guy that we talked about. You get an easy clip. You get the pivot stand, and you get a quick start guide. So let's go over the video resolutions. It is 8 o'clock, so we're going to try to get through this. I'm going to keep you for 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to sign out. So flow state stabilization. Pro video mode. Oh, so you get flow state stabilization in pro video mode? Or maybe that's the only place you get it. Okay, so in pro video mode, you get flow state, and that is probably in post-production or in the app, possibly. You get 1440 at 50 frames per second or 30 frames per second, 1080 at 50 frames per second or 30 frames per second. Okay, so we're talking about pro mode here. Basic mode, you get 1440 at 50 frames per second or 1080 at 50 frames per second. Slow motion mode is 1080 at 120 frames per second. So I'm not sure why you would ever record this one if you could get this one, but there might be a better bit rate. Time shift 1440. So all these 1440 is the highest you can go, and then 1080 is something you can also do. But if you can record at 1440 at 50 frames per second, I'm not sure why anybody would do 1080 at 50 frames per second. I would never do that. I would get because the file size of 1440 is not much bigger than the 1080 file size. But I'm sure somebody has a reason. Eat More Possum loves flow state. Aw, that's sweet. I love flow state too. HDR mode. HDR mode is only 25 or 24 frames per second, so that's interesting. That's kind of sad, I think. But I mean, this little processor is really doing a lot. Photo resolution, 1440. 1x1, you can get 2560 by 2560, so that's pretty awesome. And then there's a film panorama. That's interesting. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is. We'll have to figure out what that is. And then it records in MP4. So it's cool that the Go 1 and 2 have horizon lock. They promised that for the SMO 4K, but haven't delivered it yet. So Truth Seeker usually records in 1080p because it's easier to edit. So that's a good point. If the only thing you're going to output is 1080, then most people record at 1080 so they don't have to do any kind of extra processing on bigger video files. But if you ever need to crop in, or if you just want better quality, if you take a larger file and squash it down to 1080, you've got a lot more pixels per inch to work with, and your render will actually look crispier. So that's a tip. So yeah, there's that. So let's learn more. Photo format, INSP, can be exported via app or studio. So if you're in the app, you can like save to your camera roll, and it will convert it to something that your phone and other things can read. DNG can be exported as the app. So it only takes INSPs or DNGs. When it says via the app or studio, Studio is the desktop app. Insta360 Studio 2021 is the app that you'll use. I just got an update on my app today on my computer to add support for the Insta360 Go 2. Photo modes, standard, interval, star lapse, and night shot. I'm interested to see what a star lapse looks like on this tiny little camera. What's up, 400 AGL? Just thought I'd take a minute, step in. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good night. We're talking about the Insta360 Go 2 that they announced today, and I purchased minutes after it was released. So we're just kind of talking about what this little camera can do. It's got a ton of upgrades, and has the same sensor in it as the GoPro Hero 9. So some of the video that we've been seeing tonight is very impressive, and it's a camera that's a little bit bigger than the original. And if you get Mel, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's about the size of my finger. So, but I don't know if my finger is anything near the size of your finger, so maybe that doesn't matter to you either. So we're going through the specs right now. So I'm interested to see what a star lapse would look like from this little camera. Now, if you don't know what a star lapse is a time lapse of night stars. And it'll be interesting to see if this is like star trails or if it's just different pictures of the stars. I have a feeling it would be star trails because that's a whole lot easier. So it'll take a picture of a star and then take another picture of a star, and then over time it'll combine all of those light pixels to make like star trails. If it does that, I'll be super impressed. The night modes on the Insta360 One X2 and the Insta360R are pretty impressive. So Truth Seeker says, I don't think it's the same sensor as the GoPro Hero 9 because the GoPro Hero 9 can record 5K. It's not necessarily the sensor that makes it able to record the 5K. The sensor is it's the processor and the computing power that really brings the power of 5K recording. But that's what's in their documentation. And that's also, it was in Potato Jet's video. But he had kind of the same question that you have. So it'll be interesting to see what that actual fact is. But as far as the sensor, it's from the same, like, purchased from the same company. So Eat More Possum says it has to be using a longer exposure for star trails. No way that tiny sensor could do it otherwise. We'll wait for your tests. That's one of the first things I want to do is, I mean, we've seen a lot of like video, stabilized video. Well, the last camera could do that. So on my channel, I'm definitely going to be doing some of the more interesting shots. So let's go to the video modes. Basic stabilization. So video mode is basic stabilization. Pro mode is flow state stabilization. It's got HDR, time lapse, time shift, and slow motion. Video exposures, audio or auto, manual, and shutter priority. So all those specs are the same across the board. But there's, yeah. Photo exposure, auto, and manual, shutter speed. So let's see what we got here. Is that so in the manual, is that 120 seconds? So the shutter's open for 2 minutes. Is that what that means? Like on a real DSLR, you can open up the shutter indefinitely and then close it. So when I used to do light painting, I would open up the shutter and then there'd be like a train bridge, and I'd walk around the train bridge with a camera flash, and I'd pop it on different places that I wanted lit in the situation. Or one of the shots that I did was I did my car, and I went inside my car, and I kept flashing my flash inside the car, and so light just kind of shot out of the windows. So if that's 120 seconds, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. The format is 8.264, so they don't record an 8.265, which is kind of the new flavor. But 8.264 is a great compression rate. The bit rate's 80 megabits per second. That's pretty darn good for this tiny little camera. Eat More Possum says 30 minutes in FPV mode. That's great. My biggest liquid ion quad battery lasts nearly 30 minutes. Plenty for FPV. Yep. Now, I will say the FPV mode has a potential to overheat. So make sure that you're flying the whole time. But some of the other camera, the original camera, when it would freeze up would be usually when it's overheating. But heck yeah, I'm excited about 30-minute record time. So Pro mode records for 10 minutes. That's more than any of the batteries that I have on my FPV drones. Like, I think I get like maybe 6 minutes on my Bumblebee with a 6S battery. So 10 minutes is fine. So I'll probably go in Pro mode all the time, just so I can get the best video out of this little guy. And now that I have a Go and a Go 2, I'm probably going to put the Go somewhere else on my my FPV drone to get kind of a cool shot of the drone flying through the air, and then the better video will be kind of out of the front recording. So 15 minutes regular video mode, 30 minutes in FPV mode, time lapse, adjustable interval, record up to 110 minutes with the charge case for a 7-minute clip. So you can record for 110 minutes. That's awesome. Like, especially if you're like hanging out for dinner and you just open up the case and throw it into time-lapse mode and just take a time lapse of the restaurant while you're hanging out with your buddy. That's awesome. You'll always have a tripod on you. I mean, it's just cool. I think they've done some amazing things. Eat More Possum says the Go 2 has the potential to overheat. Yeah, every camera has the potential to overheat. But this one in particular is a closed waterproof case. So that's the whole point of the limits. But the reason these that it'll go for 30 minutes in FPV mode, I'll go back to the original Go, and this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. The original Go started out at 30-second clips, and then at some point they did a firmware update and they added 60 seconds. And we were all like, what? You can take a whole minute with this thing? It's amazing. And then they opened up FPV mode that went 5 minutes, and you're like, what? It just blew my mind that I could record this little finger camera for 5 minutes. So the fact that they're getting 30 minutes out of this new one, I will say, I think looking at the design of the new camera, I believe airflow is a lot better. The original camera, so if you look at the original camera, it's completely encased in plastic. Okay? It's completely encased in plastic except for the back. And I don't know if the back acts as a heat sink or not. But if you look at the design here, it is not encased in plastic anymore. I don't know what this material is on the side, whether this is metal or, dang it, it's a horrible presentation. Okay, so I don't know if what's on the side here is metal or rubber or what, but I feel like they did this so that they could put some holes in the side of it and dissipate heat a little bit better. Because that was the problem with the original camera. They made it so waterproof that you couldn't really get much time out of it. All right, so it's compatible with a bunch of Android, a bunch of iOS devices. Yay. White balance. That little thing on the top, that little icon on the top might have been white balance. But it's got auto, and then it goes from 2700 Kelvin all the way up to 7500 Kelvin. Bluetooth 5.0. I think the E stands for efficient. So it's like the really efficient Bluetooth that doesn't take much energy. Aperture is f. The f-stop is 2.2. ISO, we've already seen that. It's USB-C, so I was correct about the port on the bottom of the case is USB-C. This is the storage. I think Brent had a question about that. 32 gigabytes. So that's the only amount of storage that you can have on it, but you can offload onto your phone. So if you're out on vacation and you're in the car going to the next place, you can move all your files to your computer to your computer or to your iPhone or iPads, from the case. charging method is through the charge case, and then you charge the case through the Type-C port. So it takes 35 minutes to charge the Go 2 from 0 to 100%. And then it takes 65 minutes to charge the entire case. So, but, and this might sound bad, but every time you're done with the camera, you stick it back in the case. So just like my AirPods are never empty, because every time I put them back in the case and put them in my pocket, they start charging again. So it's a really neat system. So you can do 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So Nashville, it gets hotter than 104 degrees. So that's just something to keep in mind. Eat More Possum says, yeah, airflow is why 30 minutes for FPV and only 15 minutes in video mode. But if you think about that, though, Brent, you've got a drone that can go 30 minutes, but 15 minutes is a long time for this tiny little camera. And most FPV scenarios that you're going to put it on will not go 15 minutes. So I think that's cool. The color's white. Now this kind of threw me off, because some of the videos, it looks black. And I was like so excited that I could buy a black version. But then when it came out, I could not buy a black version. Exposure value is +4. So yeah. So the last thing we're going to talk about is, wow, it's 8:20. Dang. So let's talk about the different kits that are available. This is the standalone kit for $299 right now during the making of this video. I hate to talk prices because they're going to change, but so in the box you get the camera, you get the necklace. This is a lens cover. This is the case. This is the clip mount, and this is a sticky mount. And it looks like this sticky mount right here has replaced this round one, but it still has the this tripod type thing. That's what it looks like from the side with the screw-on lens cover. That's what the back looks like. This is the case that is also a remote control, a tripod, and a charger. And if you'll notice, this mount right here now has 4 directions that you can snap the camera into. It's a ball joint, but then it has 4 little spots for your camera to rest in. There's the clip that now pivots, and the necklace. There's a selfie stick. So this is everything that comes in the standalone, and then for looks like $20, you get a selfie stick with it. If you already have an Insta360, there's a good chance that you already have a selfie stick. The lens guard kit is exactly the same as the standalone, except you get 2 extra lenses. And I almost bought that version. And then I saw the pet mount kit. Oh, they might have changed this I thought I got 3 lens covers this morning. I have a feeling they changed that, but maybe not. I didn't get much sleep last night because I was excited for this camera to come out. But it has everything plus this pet mount harness that you can wrap around your pet. And then the Minions edition is coming this summer. It is just the same as the original, except it looks like a straight up Minion, and I think it's cool. Oh, you can't customize that version. So these are the custom skins. So something you can do with the custom skin is you can pick any of these skins, and it'll show you. And basically, what this is, it's a sticker that's cut out in the same shape, and you kind of like stick it on, just like a screen protector type thing. If you're planning on using it as an action camera and scratching it up, it might not be a bad idea to get some skins for it. How the custom design works is I can go in here and I can pick come on. It's not responding. Uh-oh. There we go. So let's say I wanted to grab this. You can move it around wherever you want to. And you can make like your own little, put your logo on your camera and print it out. I did one that was better. It might have been this one. Nope, it wasn't that one. It was this one. So if you want to keep it white, but you want to put your little logo on it, that's as small as I can get it. But that's kind of cool. I have a Shawnide Studios, but I'm actually planning on designing one specific for this. You can pick like any of these designs. There is a black version, so you can just get a black printout. Then you can add text. So I could do so you can put your name on there. That's bad. And then you can add an icon. Put a little bunny down there. That looks horrible, but you get the gist. So that's it, y'all. That is Shawnide Studios Studio Sessions. Another one in the book. Hope you guys have liked this video. Let me know if you're planning on getting the Insta360 Insta360 Go 2. I've put links on Facebook. I've put links on my YouTube posts, and there are links in the description of this video. If you're planning on buying the Insta360 Go 2, I would greatly appreciate it if you clicked on my affiliate link. That would be amazing. But hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell for notifications when I put out more videos on the Insta360 Go 2, 360 cameras, action cameras, drones, and live streaming. And yeah, have a wonderful night, y'all. Peace out.